The Apocalypse Players present An Uncommon Burial. A Call of Cthulhu 7th edition scenario written by Danann McAleer in the style of M.R. James. With Joseph Chance as Dr. Henry Carraig-Muire, Dan Wheeler as Reverend Perregrine McCutcheon, Dominic Allen as Lady Helen Marjorie Bjarmia Potts, and Danann McAleer as the Keeper of Arcane Lore. Part 13. The Third Policeman.
You do hear over the top of this sort of hurried, sort of whispered, I know you're not shouting, all of you, but it's this sort of, well, what are we going to do? Over the top of that, you hear the creak of a door, like, being sort of, like, put through. Not put through, but, like, you hear a sort of bang, and it comes from the direction of the museum. It's quite faint.
I'm scared.
But you hear, like, it's like someone's just forced open the front door and is coming through.
Fuck! Quickly into the seaweed trapdoor.
To be fair, you're right by the back door, but, you know...
Listen, so obviously I'm carrying on with my theme. It's like, listen, we've already closed one trapdoor. Yeah. You're saying there's a caperer, some kind of dancer. I don't believe that for a moment. I saw you looking... What?
Wait, shh. What? I just heard. Someone's come in.
Hide.
Someone's come in the front door.
Out the back. I gesture manically towards the back door. Out the back.
Hide.
Go.
One of us should hide. See who it is.
Just open the door.
Not me.
Use your keys.
I do open the back door, but I hiss at you again. One of us should hide. See who it is.
No, not that. Not that key. The other one. Try that one.
I keep trying keys.
Hey, you've got it. I dash into the toilet and nod at you as I close the door.
And I drag Marjorie out of the back door behind me.
Great.
And as quietly as I can, close it, and I don't lock it.
So, but you've all gone outside the back door?
No.
Carraig-Muire, you're staying inside?
I took his offer. I was like, yeah, okay, fine. I'll see if I can see.
Love it. So the two of you that leave, you sort of place the back door closed, and you're suddenly there. There's no sign of this sort of silent, prancing figure anymore amongst that copse a while away, but
the silent prancer.
You're sort of, you're faced with this sort of vista of, like, you know, like at least 50 yards of sort of greenery, the odd copse of trees, you know the layout from the front. This is the back, so you sort of know the geography of the place. You got dropped off in the carriage around the other side, but you can see, like, the sort of the wall circles round, and you know that the museum itself is on a sort of a mounded garden, basically, so you're pretty sure if you went in any direction you'd be able to, like, find a way out.
What do we do, Perregrine? We can't leave him in there on his own. What if he ends up in trouble?
Not quite. I wonder whether we should find somewhere to wait just here in the gardens.
Perhaps if we can get a bead on things through one of the windows, unseen. I'm not the most, discreet person. I tend to draw attention.
Yes.
Because of my... reputation.
No, I tend to draw attention because of my clumsiness, I say, tripping over my foot. My dexterity is 30.
Simultaneously, I'm attempting to stay very, very still, looking through the crack of the door.
You're in the toilet with the door just like...
Well...
So do you guys decide to do anything in that moment as you've just...
Here's an idea, Marjorie.
Yes.
We could go back round the front and knock on the door.
It's a brilliant idea.
Start again. Do over.
Start again.
I love it.
The listeners will love it.
I love it.
I've got to say, guys, God knows we need to. Because this has not gone according to my plans.
No, but it will be revealing to see if whoever is inside opens the door or pretends not to be there. And either way, we've lost nothing.
They closed the shop.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
The sign gets turned.
Let's go around the front. And I agree. I think that's a fantastic idea.
Okay.
Fuck me, I love it.
Tell you're an Osterboy. Come on then. And
right. So which way do you go? Because to the right, it's closer to the right. That's the direction that Carraig-Muire's window was smashed in. And to the left, you'd have to go around a bit further at the back. It's like a big sort of rectangular building.
The shorter route.
So
feel like we're more likely to be seen through the windows as short. I think we want to take the route where we're less likely to be spotted from the inside going round the building.
Very good. Very good.
So that's the slightly longer route, not past the one that he smashed, because those are the lower windows. But you only just heard the front door going through, to be fair.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like there's a desperate time pressure to get back round there.
No. And Carraig-Muire can fucking...
In fact, we don't want to get there too soon because it'll be a bit suspicious.
It'd be fucking weird if they...
Long way is fine.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And
okay, cool.
as we go, I say, yes, now we can play the buggers at their own game. We'll pretend to be people we're not and confuse the hell out of them. That's what we'll do.
Confuse the hell out of ourselves.
Yeah. I hope so.
Well... Dr. Brinkman, I am looking forward to viewing the local antiquities.
Yes,
I hear.
Professor...
It's quite interesting.
Professor... No?
Mrs.
Mrs. Professor.
Fine, whatever.
No.
No, my late husband, Professor Montgomery Chudd.
Okay. Yes. Of course.
Mrs. Professor Chudd.
Of course, Mrs. Chudd. Your husband was a real fan of this museum, as far as I recall. So hopefully, Professor Dag will be here to show us around. He really was a fine curator.
I hope so, and I hope this will have the effect you suggested, Doctor, of bringing back all my lost memories.
Wow.
Thankfully, I can't hear any of that.
It's never failed before.
And while you're circling around with this remarkable bit of improv going on, Carraig-Muire, give me a listen roll.
What I was going to say, what I want to do is I want to stay still for 10 seconds, and I'm going to count. My count is back. 1, 2, 3, and I just listen.
Great.
It's another fail. It's a 69. On my 33 listen, but I don't care because I'm back there now. I'm in the Sudan.
Yeah.
And
oh shit!
I count to 10. The pit's just through the door.
That's what none of us wanted to hear.
You don't go back into that pit if you don't have to. So I count to 10. I get to 10. I open the door and I attempt to stealthily go to the end of the corridor, the museum end of the corridor, not the exit end of the corridor.
Yeah.
With my stick up, ready to strike, because obviously I can't hear anything there, so I'm going to get closer to see if I can essentially either push the roll or roll again.
And in a way, is that you pushing the roll?
Maybe, but I'm going to roll stealth instead to see if I can.
Yeah, great. Well,
get closer, and maybe you'll tell me something if it's a success. I don't know.
Absolutely, yeah.
That is a 95, which is one short of a fumble.
Fuck me. Okay, well, thank God it wasn't a fumble.
On a 38. So I hit a piece of bric-a-brac that had rolled out of the room, which I hadn't seen, and I go, shit. But I still just carry on, because that's war.
Well, I'll tell you what actually happens is the door behind you that you were sort of holding open, you sort of pushed open to go through and assumed it would stay where it was, but actually it's heavier than you thought, and it's sort of slowly, and it's just clunked shut. And even though your listen roll is not a success, sticking your head into the museum and knowing that you'd heard that the open door had been heard.
Well, now, could I beg? I'm not sticking my head into the museum. I'm not claiming I'm pushing a roll. I'm saying I'm doing a stealth check to get to the end of the corridor.
Oh.
But if you want to tell me something that I'm listening to...
I thought you were pushing it with stealth. Sorry.
Otherwise, I'd like to claim that... But I failed the stealth. So if you want to claim that as a failed push... I don't know. I kind of want to go...
No, not a failed push necessarily then. It's a failed stealth. So that door clicks shut far louder than you'd have liked it to. It's one of those things that, like, when you're used to sneaking, when you have that instinct, you hear something and you go, oh, for fuck's sake.
In which case, I just go very still. I'll brace and ready to strike anyone.
You go very still and you hear nothing, which is possibly the worst thing you could hear, knowing that something had been heard very recently, if that makes sense. And the museum's deep enough that, like, you know, you've just had this moment where, like, the toilet door sort of locked quite heavily behind, not locked, but, like, closed quite heavily behind you, which is unfortunate. But you know the museum's deep enough that, like, it hasn't been long enough that anyone will see you. You could still...
Well, I think what I prefer is the classic of...
Or you could go into the museum space itself and try and hide behind a display.
Opening the door and saying... Hello there.
Love it. I love it. I love it. So is that what you do?
That's what I do.
Excellent. So you step through the door. Hello there.
And I've got my stick in one hand.
Yeah. You hear a sort of, from maybe a few yards away, maybe 10 or 15 yards away through the displays, you hear something drop slightly and a sort of... you know, whispered sort of thing, and then you hear someone say, hello? Who's there?
Am I mistaken, or is that a Midlothian twang I hear? Are you from the Highlands, or are you from the Lowlands?
Well, you told me first. What are you doing in here? Why's the window broken?
I'm here on behalf of my friend who's missing.
And what would their name be? Step out, please, sir, if you don't mind. This is the Whitby Constabulary.
The Whitby Constabulary?
Aye.
Oh, a Scotsman this far south serving the constabulary.
Well, I'm not going to go into the details of what led me down here just yet. We may be countrymen, but we're not friends as of yet. If you've got reason for being here, let me know. And I hope it's honest.
By the sound of you, I'd say you're in your 30s. Maybe, would you be 11 stone, 12 stone?
Mm-hmm. Right, wait there. And you hear footsteps coming towards you.
I run.
Okay, what, back the way?
Yeah, back the way.
Okay, great.
Let's see if you're as fast as me. Pow!
Let's see who had the biggest breakfast this morning.
Yeah, is that basically.
Do you shut the door behind you as you run through? Or...
No, I just fucking sprint.
Right, to the back door that they went through.
Yeah.
Great.
I mean,
okay.
I suppose retrospectively, I'll do a half-hearted psychology role in the relationship between myself and the keeper of the McAleer law, because I'm assuming they're a cultist motherfucker, but there's a chance that I might understand something with a roll, that there might be something more true that he is constabulary.
So what would you roll for that?
Psychology, and I've rolled an 87 and I've failed.
You have no idea, but I imagine you're paranoid enough from the previous police sort of interactions you've had.
Totally paranoid. So I'm running like the fucking wind.
Also, there is something really sort of slightly unsettling about the fact that you almost thought it was like an echo, like someone copying your accent initially. It's like...
Yeah, that was weird.
Why is that happening? That's not what I'd expect. So I can totally see you bolting. The other two of you, you're going along the side of the building, with the building on your left, round back to the front. I think you've made it maybe halfway around. You're almost at the turning point to get to the front steps and the front gardens and stuff. And you hear sort of a couple of voices inside, as you're quite loudly talking about, you know.
Yes, Mrs. Rudd, Fudd.
Chud, right?
Chud. Yes, Mrs. Chudd. So I find from my experience, as we approach the front door, if you imagine yourself in the body of your late husband, you raise your hand to the door, and as you knock, try to visualize his hand knocking on this door, as he did so many times to be greeted by his old friend, Professor Miriam Dag.
Amazing.
But, Doctor, part of the problem is I don't remember who I am. Knock, knock, knock.
Wait, is that you knocking?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, as you turn the corner saying all this, there is a young, what looks like a police constable, waiting by the door, which is now open.
I think you still do that, though, don't you? In mid-air. Yes, knock,
Knock, knock, knock. He says,
It's not working.
don't remember who you are? Miriam Dag? And then you hear from inside this sort of, all right, you, right, okay, all right. Well, chase me, see if you've had your breakfast, or whatever it is. And suddenly the young officer sort of looks between you and the open doorway and says, wait there. And then bounds in through the door.
No, please, young man, wait up. After him. And I follow him in.
There's been a murder.
Do you shout that? Because you're still maybe 10 yards from the door itself. Like, you sort of turn the corner, chatting about this weird shit about having lost your memory, knocked on the invisible wall, and then sort of he heard you say Miriam Dag and said, what are you talking about? And then you all heard from inside sort of Scots accents, and he sort of went to bound inside. So do you shout, there's been a murder?
Was he dressed as a policeman?
He looks like a young constable, not dissimilar from the
So brilliant, Dan. Was he dressed as a policeman? I don't believe.
Yeah, no, he's dressed as a pirate, but he said he was a constable.
Yeah, I don't fucking buy it.
No. He was. He I guess you haven't seen that many Yorkshire constabulary, but he doesn't look dissimilar from the rural police he might have passed. But he goes to
does he
goes to
look like he bought his police outfit from the sort of Oxford Street Party Superstore or whatever?
From the joke shop on Church Street. Yeah. Yeah, and he's got a couple of fart sweets in his hand and he chucks them at you.
That's a Smithy's costume if ever I saw one.
Smithy's costume. Such a good reference. Yeah. He looks very junior. He looks about 19. And he makes to run back in when you hear these shouted voices. I think it's fair to say you assume from the accent, or at least one of the accents, maybe Carraig-Muire's been found, just the tone of the interaction. And he sort of says, wait there, but in less of a he says, wait there. God, I'll do that in the edit. But he goes to run back through the open front door.
Well, I don't shout there's been a murder. I do shout, have you found my husband?
Okay, excellent. He sort of does pause for a second in the door frame and says, your husband?
I don't remember him.
Well, neither do I, love.
We're hoping.
I'm only 19. And then he runs.
Oh no! We're hoping Miriam Dag might help.
Miriam Dag, yeah, you said Miriam Dag is under arrest. Miriam Dag is back at the station. We're looking for. I've got to go. Stay there. And unless you sort of, I'll assume you've been closing the distance through this time, but he does seem. You can hear some commotion going on inside, and he seems torn, but that is the place to focus. Meanwhile, Carraig-Muire, you've sprinted for the back door, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is I have this mad moment as I pass the door that leads into the chamber where the hidden room is, that I have this compulsion to want to go in.
Yeah.
And face the pit.
Well, I think weirdly what happens is as you run back through the first door, you go past, as we described last time, that full set of samurai armour in the sort of glass plinth.
Oh, do I? I can see that again.
And you sort of feel it's right by the door, and you're that compulsion to either fight or hide is both of those are encapsulated in this armor, you know, like to protect and also fight. It's like it sort of encapsulates both of your instincts, but you obviously pass it. You can hear these steps coming towards you, and you pass on your right. Yeah, you feel that pull right towards the closed door, but you know that trapdoor's there. You know that little fucker got away through there, and you were the least keen on letting him go, I feel. Maybe
but
I'm
also
wrong.
the least keen on going into the pit, because...
Well, that's also true for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But you
and yet that would be the perfect hiding place. That would be the perfect hiding place. So I sort of slow for that half stride, and then I sprint for the back door. And
they haven't locked it, so
but he, as luck would have it, he didn't lock it.
Yeah.
And I throw it open and I sprint for a hiding place. I want to hide.
Great. So you can't see them because obviously they've circled the building.
I don't think I even look for them. I think
No, I'm sure you don't. Do you just run in a straight line? I'm assuming because there's glass on the back door. Do you sort of cut to a side to try and?
I mean, there are trees, loads of trees, right?
Yeah, there's just loads of trees. There's the odd ornamental thing. There's like little sort of fish ponds around. Is there
anything
bumpy...
tall enough to climb to hide in?
Yeah, there's a couple of birches, as I've said, one of which was not a birch. But
it's April into May Day is perilously close, my friend.
Yeah.
Let us remind ourselves.
I'll tell you what.
1 day away, so the green is in.
If you're running into sort of trees and bits of undergrowth to hide, give me pick a direction on the compass.
Well, is
not that you have a compass. It's almost like doing a luck roll, I suppose. But like, just
I'll choose west.
Excellent. So you're sort of actually cutting back in the same direction they went around the house,
as it happened.
And I can't tell you just how lucky that might be. So you sprint across, and there are a few trees. And do you want to like get up into one? There's a couple of
I want to. Yeah, I want to try and get up into a tree.
There's like a heritage oak that seems like really like you can see those gnarled sort of the roots, not roots, the boughs where the boughs and knots join.
Yeah.
That sort of nest looks really secure and it's hidden by a canopy. So your first instinct is that.
I'll climb it. I'll climb it.
Have you got a climb skill?
I do. It comes with the territory.
Hard to climb an oak tree.
I bet. Yeah, those low branches.
It can be. I mean, the bark's rough, which if you're Spider-Man could be helpful, but if you're an alcoholic, drug-addled Scotsman, it could not.
You often don't get a branch till about...
Yeah.
We don't use the term, it's Edwardian period, we don't use the term alcoholic. We use the term Scotsman.
Oh, no, sorry. We use the term legend. Yeah.
Aye. We use the term real man.
Yeah. Quite right.
Oh, son of a bitch. Okay, I'm just really rolling high, guys. I'm really rolling... okay, so I rolled a 40 on my 33. My luck is 28, so I can't spend the luck.
No. Would you like to try and push it?
I'm struggling to hold on. So I think it's one of those...
Essentially easier to climb one of the birches, but probably less room to hide.
What else is there around?
I mean, you might just be very exposed.
Yeah. What is there anything around? Are there any outhouses? Any?
You can see maybe like within 30, 40 yards, there is a wall. The same brick wall that sort of encompasses the entire grounds isn't that far away. You could tell. So what I'll tell you is...
But I'd still have to climb it.
You'd have to climb it, but it's only like maybe 6 foot. You could easily do it. I wouldn't even ask for a climb roll on that wall because you could, with your strength, you'd be able to do it. What I would say is, you could, knowing how far away the footsteps were, if you wanted to just sprint, you could go, and I would say you'd get over the wall. They might see you jumping the wall, but they probably wouldn't see you in detail. You would be leaving the two of them there.
Yeah. I'd be abandoning the situation. Yeah.
That's the toss-up, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you could always then reconfigure and rejoin. It's not the end of the world.
I think it's a heritage oak, so it's quite wide trunked. Yeah.
Yeah. Big wide trunk. As Dan says, not that many branches early on.
I slip down. I slip down in.
Yeah.
I look at it again, and as I slip down, I remember slipping down the side of the pit.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And going like, there's no way out. There's no way out. I'm in now. I'll have to put all the corpses up one end to climb out, which is how I got out.
Like Christian Bale in Dark Knight Rises, just like slipping off heavily.
But in order to be able to do that, I had to wait for several days to keep dragging each corpse over to the wall.
Oh.
Because otherwise people would find me and shoot me.
Of course. And as each day went on, and they putrefied further.
They were all rotting. I was pretending to be dead at times as patrols went past. And so as I slipped down, I go, well, let's not keep climbing this tree, otherwise I'll have a mental breakdown. So
is that what you say in an English accent? Well, let's not start climbing this tree.
And I realise Anik has taken over. And Anik is the ruthless English motherfucker. Because that's where I was born, in Anik. And I grew up there
to your shame,
before I moved to Scotland.
Yeah.
And so the inner Englishman speaks, and he says, I say, old chap, why don't you just daringly hide behind this tree, and if they come round, cudgel them in the face? That's how we do it.
That's not how they talk in Anik. They say, why I spaghetti hoops?
No, that's true, they do.
Kawasaki motorcycles.
Why I spaghetti?
And a way in a shite.
Thankfully.
But in Carraig-Muire's head.
A difficult way in a shite.
Because he grew up he was born there, right? But he didn't actually grow up there much. In your head, it's some pinnacle of English sort of bicycling Cotswold-esque.
It's a betrayal of what he actually is, you know. That's
yeah. That's why he's ashamed, right?
Ashamed.
So he sort of hates that comes out. But it's that English shame of, oh, jolly good show, old chap. You can be a coward, it's fine. We're better than them. Hide behind the tree and cudgel the fucker.
A ruthless fucking coward. So I'm just going to hide behind the tree and wait.
Love it. Perfect.
Daring.
And so as you sort of sprint for this tree, you grasp at it like that famous clip of the lion in the David Attenborough thing, jumping up at the giraffe and then just sliding. And then you just circle round it and have this voice in your head, this sort of inner shameful English instinct. The other two of you, what do you do?
I think we... Oh, well, I mean, what do we do? I say, what do we do? Lady Marjorie, do we follow him in? Or do we cut our losses and clear off?
I don't rightly know, I suppose. Well, I'm certainly not going to stay here because that's what he asked me to do, and I don't take orders from 19-year-old boys. So, on matter of principle, I'm either going to leave or go in. Standing here is not an option.
I entirely agree.
Let's go in and remonstrate with him. How dare he leave a woman in need? He needs to learn a thing or two about being a police officer. Young man!
Very good.
March in there.
So
get back here at once.
I fall in line behind Lady Marjorie.
Oh, God. the edifice of society. I fall in line behind the edifice of society.
Civilization is at stake.
So you can see as you go through those front doors into that lobby area and the other double doors that open into the main museum area, you see the sort of disappearing sort of pacing figure of this young sort of 19-year-old junior constable or something.
Get back here.
Sort of looking at the front of the stacks and wondering which way to go. You can tell he's sort of maybe following a superior or something and he's not quite sure which way. I will in a minute. I just need to... And then he just takes a break through two of the stacks to the right. Are you going to just chase him, or are you going to wait in the lobby and sort of demand to see someone, or do you want to just follow him after wherever the action's happening?
Yeah, I think so.
Are we going to do loops through this museum? I'd fucking love that. Excellent. So...
Oh, but I'm not running. I don't chase.
Oh no, of course you don't chase.
I walk with purpose.
Perregrine, are you trying to catch him, or is it that you're sort of making yourselves known and you're sort of walking into the space to sort of be like, we're here, can we speak to someone, whoever's what's the vibe? It might be chaotic.
I want to follow him, and basically I don't know that Henry has escaped out the back.
No.
So I want to get the attention of at least one of these coppers to try and give Henry the opportunity to escape.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that's happened yet.
No, you don't know it's happened. I would say you heard shouting in a Scottish accent, although you couldn't make out the voices, so you may have assumed he might have been either discovered or said something and ran, but still a good instinct.
Wait, young man.
But I've got to go. I'm trying to... he's sort of like, you can hear him disappearing into the stacks. He's obviously... You do also hear...
I follow.
Yeah, okay. So you follow and you go between these... You see these sort of... you're not sure if they're like Polynesian or sort of Zulu spears or something. You don't have time to look at the I was about to say etymology. Certainly not entomology. There's no Migo sort of, there's spikes there. But you're sort of making your way through the stacks following him, and you do start to hear this other voice of, you assume another, because it doesn't quite sound like Carraig-Muire, but the accent is sort of close enough. You can hear this, right, follow this way. Where's Bernard? Bernard, right? And you hear like a door opening and various things. There's like a mess of stuff happening up towards you.
Does it sound like there's how many people does it sound like there are here?
You've only heard 2 voices so far.
Right. Okay. So the Scots policeman,
but there's a lot of sort of
and this young fella. Okay.
And this young fella, he seemed to shout back Bernard. You've also but it's more the fact that you've only just arrived and there's a lot of sort of door opening and sort of running footsteps and stuff. You couldn't say for sure it was just 2 people. There may be a third or fourth. It's
2 would be normal though if they are genuinely coppers.
Yeah, it might be a bit suspicious if there's like 6 of them all dressed in identical uniforms and one of them wearing a vicar's collar. No, they're not. So do you just want to keep following?
Yeah, I think so.
Great. Okay. Well, you do hear do you call anything or do you just follow?
I just keep saying.
I know Marjorie earlier did shout, "Young man, come back here," but he sort of.
I'm saying the same. Young man.
Right.
Wait, young man.
Wait, who's there? Who's there? You hear. And then you hear like another door sort of close and you hear sort of footsteps coming back towards you. Heavy footsteps.
Oh, shit.
Do you want to stay where you are and sort of just face it out?
Yes, I do. But now I have to decide whether I want to continue this mad lie.
I'm striding, I think, quite close behind, if that's fair.
I think Perregrine's got the lead on you, definitely, but like he wasn't sprinting full pelt and he is 49, so like I think you could be certainly within eye shot and earshot marching up behind.
Do I hear this guy shout, "Who's there? Who's there?"
You do, yeah.
I say as loudly as I can, "Lady Helen Marjorie Bjarmia Potts. And I demand you explain yourself."
Amazing. What a moment. Well, I will then. And you hear the slowing of the shoes and these like heavy-paced, heavy-soled feet about to come around the corner. Meanwhile, Carraig-Muire, you're round the back of this this oak with your cudgel raised. And you have not heard the back door go.
I mean, it's the theme of my session, but I think I count. But I don't count to 10 this time. I count to 20.
Yeah.
And if I get up to 20, I'll have a peek.
Ready or not, here I come.
Exactly.
In terms of where you're looking, are you sort of trying to glance around the tree, or are you just listening? Are you...
There were those lads, of course, in the Medina that we all used to play the games with, and they wanted to play hide and seek with us. And we'd play the game with them. We didn't know whether they were friends or enemies, or you just didn't know. But
was this Guess Who, or
no? You'd play hide and seek with them.
Oh yeah.
And of course, they always knew they'd find the best hiding spot.
Yeah. And
you'd give up, and then they'd come out seemingly out of nowhere and just laugh at you.
Yeah.
And you'd think, God, what are we doing here? That's what you'd think. You'd think,
yeah,
this is madness. We shouldn't be here.
But that's lovely. This flashback of like, although obviously it shouldn't be that dissimilar to your hometown or your home countries or anything, like this manicured garden outside a museum. It's not like you haven't seen dozens of those in your life, even if your upbringing was slightly rougher and you've been to these terrifying places. You suddenly do get this feeling of like, being in enemy territory. Like, and I think it's also like genuinely linked into the trapdoors and the tunnels and everything, and this sort of pervading sense of there are people here who know not only above this land but below this land, it seems, far better than you. And
maybe they have not so much sort of charged insight, but I begin to realise, this belongs to them. This is their place.
Yeah.
And we stumbled into it those years ago. No, years ago? Where are we? Aye, years ago.
A year ago.
1 year ago.
Aye.
And we're back. And, the second offensive is always more bloody.
True.
It's always more fraught with the violence of both sides going, well, we know we're back on, so let's take it.
I love that.
And I swing round and the cudgel's raised and there's... And do I see anyone?
Well, while you're having this feeling of like all of those things that you've so beautifully sort of evoked, could you do me a spot hidden? When that sense hits you of like the hide and seek, the not knowing the landscape enough.
And of course it's too emotional.
Of course.
I can't get clear of it, and I'm frightened for my friends. I'm frightened for myself.
Yeah.
A 95.
Wow.
Which is not quite a fumble.
Okay. So you don't see anything, but you do get the sense that even though you don't feel like they followed you out, and you're worried then for your friends inside, because it's like your ploy to sort of... It wasn't a ploy to draw them out. You wanted to stay inside.
No, it sort of was. I mean,
But the secondary ploy, I suppose...
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to have worked, at least not initially, so you become slightly concerned. You feel eyes on you from somewhere in the area, and it's an unsettling feeling, and it does draw you back to...
I'll spin round.
Yeah. And you see nothing. It's like there's someone... It's the oddest sensation that there's someone who could be stood a foot away from you, staring deep into your eyes, but you can't see them. It's like nothing that you've ever quite felt, but it reminds you of those days in the Sudan. And it's those eyes, those crossed eyes of Mr. Dan Wheeler that gaze out from a bush.
I think I do say I hiss, show yourself, owl, or whatever you are.
You hear a tiny sort of almost like a thumping of like just this like little smatter of sound within a bush, and it's gone. And there is a part of you that suddenly remembers those sort of chants you heard from bushes in the Sudan, like...
Yes.
In regards to the, like, hide and seek you were talking about, the sort of the way that kids whisper to each other through the bushes. While that's happening, Lady Marjorie, as you march up behind, and Perregrine, as you sort of stop in the stalls and you hear these sort of leather footsteps coming towards you, Marjorie, because I feel I've been cruel enough with this now, could you give me a spot hidden as you approach Perregrine?
Yes.
As you approach Perregrine.
I see. Okay. What's my skill? Is it under 50? Well, luckily my skill is just over 50. It's 53 because I've rolled a 99.
Oh, fuck-a-doodle-doo.
Super close.
It's not Perregrine.
Yeah, he pulls his scalp up from the back. Just another face. It's like the end of Philosopher's Stone, that weird CGI moment. No, you see nothing then. You sort of... There's something about the moment as you... Maybe it's because you're getting out of breath. You're not a smoker, right? But
I've had a cigar or two this afternoon.
In the carriage ride.
I put my cigar on the floor and stamped it out. As
you approach Perregrine from behind, you think maybe it's that you're getting out of breath, and you sort of...
You put down your bong.
You put down the bong, and you sort of go, oh, that's, 9's my limit. But there's...
I need to stop. It's taking the edge off the opium.
There is genuinely something... Like, as you approach the back of Perregrine, it's almost like your eyes swim for a moment, and you seem to see, like, something glinting. And you realise it's just, like, You know when you sort of almost grey out? I call it greying out. Like when you stand up too fast out of a hot bath or something and your sort of vision goes slightly and you're... It's like that. It is almost like you think you see something on him. But then...
On Perregrine?
Yeah. But then it dissipates and you shake your eyes. And at that exact moment, this huge sort of rotund... He looks like one of those... laughing sailor sort of mannequins from the end of Piers. You know the ones I mean? The ones that you put a shilling in and they go with their horrible arms all over the place. He's rosy-cheeked. He's got a ruddy nose, pockmarked. He's quite short, but he's very fucking broad. And he sort of comes around the corner and says, "Right, who's... Well, hello, father."
Oh, no.
And...
What did you call me?
Oh, sorry, lady.
No, father won't be necessary.
All right, single parents. I see.
Reverend will do nicely.
Well, can you explain to me, please, Reverend, and her ladyship here, what on earth you're doing in this museum? Was it you who broke the window?
No, it was certainly not.
Broke the window? Of course not. Why would we break a window?
Bernard, come back here.
Why would anyone be in a museum except to look at the museum?
Right, so there's been no trouble here at all.
I see you'll never make detective.
No, I've got no idea. I assume there has been trouble here. Otherwise, why would you be here?
How did you get in?
We walked in.
We
through
knocked
the front
on the door
after your colleague there opened it.
Oh, so Bernard! He shouts again. He says...
He left it wide open.
Left it wide open, did he?
He'll never make detective.
Right, and you've only just arrived, so, of course, we made our entrance, and you obviously saw us walking up to the building and just followed us in afterwards without saying a word to us. Is that right?
We had a few words, but the boy ran away.
We didn't see you walking in the building at all. We came around the corner and saw your colleague stood there on the doorstep and panicked.
And who else is here with you?
We'll be asking the questions, thank you very much.
Well, no, I don't think you will, madam. What was your name again?
How dare you?
Well, I don't know who you are.
Bristle.
Roll Bristle.
Well, you may be from Bristol. I've no idea.
I suggest you look at Burke's Peerage and you'll get a pretty good idea of who I am. How dare you? I've never been spoken to like this in my life by any public servant. How dare you? How dare you?
Well... Welcome to Whitby.
Listen. I think we can settle this quite quickly. Perhaps, Detective Inspector, we could see some identification, and then I'm sure this would all be resolved quite quickly.
All right. Well, perhaps, Reverend, I could see some identification. You got a Bible on you, or anything? A lady?
I'm not sure how a Bible is necessary. Identification of a man of the cloth, but so be it, and I take out the Bible.
I don't think you understand how the social contract works. We're private citizens. We don't have to prove anything to you. You are a policeman.
I'm sorry.
So you claim. And we need proof before we answer your questions, unless we're under arrest.
You're not under arrest just yet. No.
Well, thank you then. So let's see some identification then.
I see. Well, if a collar's good enough as representation for a vicar, why can you not take my uniform as the same for me?
May I see your badge, please?
Would it be a badge?
I don't know.
Just as an aside, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. He doesn't say this, by the way. Yeah. He doesn't say, would it be a badge that I'm meant to have?
You just put your hands under the wheel and then you flick the flange and then the car starts. That's how it works.
Yes, phone boxes were widespread by the early 1910s.
Yes, yeah. And you just crank the torch and eventually the electricity comes out.
Oh, yeah. The electricity comes out.
Electricity comes out as light.
Everyone had telephones by then. Yeah. It was the 1920s.
But not everyone had the vote.
Well said.
Quite right too.
Well said.
So basically, he looks like he's about to take umbrage, but he does look also that you've sort of he's not so stupid that he doesn't know you're right.
I clutch my umbrage tight to my body.
Professor Umbridge is very much how I see I mean, it's a good Harry Potter reference. But he looks like he's about to... And then he says, right. And he digs into like a sort of side pocket of his jacket. And he does produce a sort of a card. Obviously, it doesn't have a photo on it, but like it looks like the official, identification you would have as a policeman. So either he's like a brilliant forger.
Do I believe, based on our little interaction so far, that he is a policeman?
Well, should we do a psychology roll?
I would really love to.
Psychology? Is that what you'd like?
Can I join in on that?
Yeah, do it.
I'd love psychology, yeah. My psychology is not great, but, that is what I want to do.
Is your law better?
My psychology is pretty good. Ooh, that's a hard success on my psychology.
Oh, I hardly need to roll then, do I? But I'll do it anyway. I failed.
But Dom has passed, so...
Yeah.
It's often the person who's doing a little bit of interrogation can't quite make the game, but the person who's watching...
Quite, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, you were both interrogating him, so it's good.
Good cop, mad cop.
Good cop, mad cop.
Love it. It's a great Call of Cthulhu.
Fake cop.
A hard success. Yeah, you're pretty sure, A, that the card he hands you is legit, and B, that he does seem like the sort of arrogant sort of constable you may have come across in the past, perhaps when like a favourite choir boy of yours has gone out on a jolly and got a bit rowdy, and you don't think he should be managed by the police, he should be managed by the interior sort of university security like the Bulldogs or something. But you get the sense that he probably is legit.
Yes, well, it's quite clear that you're a total and complete constable. You must forgive our suspicions. We recently had an interaction with someone posing as a detective, and it transpired that they were an imposter. So we tend to be on guard around men in uniform. So, what's all this to do? We're looking for Professor Dag. We're old acquaintances, and we understand that he is under arrest.
That's right. He is under arrest. Currently being questioned. And
may I ask the nature of his charge?
Well, I suppose you may. There's no need in hiding it. He's under suspicion of murder.
Murder?
Not Professor Dag. That's... Why am I speaking in a Scottish accent?
Are you also a close friend of Professor Dag? The two of you?
Well, not so much a close friend, but...
I said old acquaintance.
Were you recently contacted by him?
Yes.
No.
No.
Well, if you're going to lie well.
No, that's actually the truth.
Right.
It's just we had to think a little bit about whether to tell the truth or not.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I know that, of course.
We chose to tell the truth.
Well, I appreciate it. And you're telling me there was no one else here with you?
Correct.
Because I heard a man of my own country sneaking out the back. You came in behind us. You didn't see anyone else following you up or entering the building before us?
No, but we were somewhat distracted in deep conversation, so we may have missed something, I suppose.
You hear fast footsteps sort of approaching, and this 19-year-old sort of constable runs back in. Bernard, where the fuck have you been? Sorry, pardon my language, Reverend.
There's the useless little cunt.
Oh, right, it's fine then. Right, great.
As you can tell, I'm quite used to it.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility of speaking to Professor Dag? I think there must be some confusion or mistake. Who is Professor Dag's supposed victim?
Oh. Well, I couldn't tell you that unless you know already. Yeah.
Well, that doesn't seem...
I don't see how you could be...
That doesn't make much sense at all, if I'm honest. The fact that you can tell us that Professor Dag's been arrested for murder and yet you can't tell us who's been murdered.
Well, it would influence the case.
How
you see?
Would it influence the case?
Well, I don't know you yet. I trust you as a man of God.
Presumably it's a matter of record that someone's been murdered. We just don't know because we're not from round here.
No, it's a matter of record that someone's died. It's not a matter of record they've been murdered yet.
Oh.
Well, presumably it's a matter of record that someone's died, so you might be able to tell me who it was who's passed away.
Oh, we've got you there.
Have you visited here before?
Excuse me?
Have you visited this museum before? When you've met Professor Dag in the past?
I don't think either of us ever claimed to have met Professor Dag.
Oh, I thought you said you were an old acquaintance.
Yes, well,
I'm not playing a game of Guess Who here.
No, and I quite understand, and I know it may come as some surprise to you to know that some people communicate through the medium of the written word as well as spoken word.
I'm a woman of letters.
Right.
I don't get out much because of my deep vein thrombosis, but I have made it my business to keep a wide circle of a wide circle.
Fantastic.
Of correspondence.
I don't think we want to be talking about your wide circle again, Lady Marjorie. We'll be here all night.
Well, very well.
I can show you the letters if you'd like to accompany it back, all the way back down to Oster.
No. That's quite all right.
Listen, Detective Inspector. It is Detective Inspector, am I right?
It is.
Is it Detective Inspector based on his uniform and the insignia?
I mean, you get the impression it's as close as, damn it, and he's just taking the authoritative air, but
okay.
It may be a slightly different term, but yeah, he seems to be the one in the position of authority.
Listen, I believe we've all got off on the wrong foot.
Aye.
Me especially because of the DVT.
Yeah, it's quite. As I understand it, there's been some sort of local tragedy here that we're not aware of.
Right.
I presume it's been in all the local newspapers. Professor Dag, who is a friend of ours by means of correspondence, has been implicated somehow, and I can't imagine how, knowing the man as I do. It seems that maybe we could even be of some assistance if we were to come down to the constabulary. Or
Well, it's very possible. It was only in the last day, so it's all very fresh. You understand? I mean, you're totally right. You seem like people of a sound mind and a well-standing. It's
that's kind of you to say so.
I say as I see fit, but it's all still a bit fresh, which is why I'm a bit wary to put out too much information.
Of course.
A body has been found. We suspect murder. I don't really see how it could be anything else. And Professor Dag is implicated. But as acquaintances, it would be under observation, of course. But I suppose it could be of great use to us if you came down and had a word.
That would be more than agreeable. May I ask you a couple of questions in response? Firstly,
Of course.
May I ask what brings you to the museum today? Is this the initial part of the investigation, or have the police already had a look around?
We arrived, we arrested the professor, and we had to go through his office. We found very little of any use. This was all day before yesterday, or yesterday morning, in fact. And, well, yes, we returned here by happenstance, where we happened to see a window smash. One of the local residents reported it to an officer in the street, and myself and Bernard here came up to check.
I see. Well, that's fair enough. And my only other question is...
Yes.
Sometimes...
I feel a bit lonely. Oh, sorry.
Yes. So sometimes Professor Dag has asked me to write care of various flunkies and assistants he's had. And
right, I see.
I sent a letter recently, but I can't remember the name of the chap who was his current assistant. You don't happen to be familiar with the staff in the museum, do you? I forget the chap's name.
Well, there might be a record of it here. I think the museum has its own sort of a society of curators and everything. I'm not familiar with it myself. I'm not really a man of history. More of the modern day, he says, and sort of coughs up in a handkerchief.
Yes, well, I think they're still alive.
Right. No. I see what you mean, but I mean, I'm not a regular visitor to the museum myself. If only I were, perhaps. But no, I'm afraid I can.
Professor Dag hasn't mentioned an assistant.
What was the name?
More.
Well, it was it Murgatroyd or something like that? Was it
Murgatroyd or Tom?
Oh, heavens.
Mortimer? Mortimer could have been Mortimer.
Might have been, or
Doesn't ring a bell, no.
The professor hasn't ever mentioned any staff.
He requested to send a letter, a telegram to I think it was, there's a groundskeeper here, I'm not sure who. We're still looking into all this, but they're not under suspicion at the moment. It's only Professor Dag that's under suspicion, but listen, are you serious about coming down and helping us with this?
very much so.
I would see it as my civic duty to assist the police in their investigations, especially if it leads, as I'm sure it inevitably will, to the suspension of any charges against a dear friend, pen friend.
And I believe I may be able to offer some succour to this poor man, whether he's guilty or not.
Thanks. Well, that's always good to hear. Oh, and also, well, I mean, feel free to bring your friend along as well, your wee Scotch friend.
Who?
What friend is that?
Little joke there. Thought I might catch you out. Right. Well, are you free to come now?
Why not?
Bernard,
We're not waiting for anyone.
while this has all been happening, because we are waiting for someone, that's been a relatively long conversation. Joseph, Carraig-Muire, you've heard no one following you out. You had this moment of feeling watched by the garden. You had this flashback to Danann, to these, to playing hide and seek, to these kids hiding in the bushes around the place, to all that stuff. You had that moment where you swung round and you just couldn't place it. It was like someone was right next to you, but you couldn't see them. And you heard a sort of rustling in the bushes, but correct me if I'm wrong, your attention is still probably, or your worry at least, is still probably on where they've gone, because they came out this way. But you haven't heard anything from inside, to be fair, so you might assume they're hiding too.
I'm conscious that they aren't just here waiting. That they haven't chosen a hiding place nearby to make, and they can obviously see me if they're in the majority of locations. So there's potential that they've missed me, and then they're hiding in amongst other things. Or the third party option is that they've backed round. So I suppose the thing I want to know is there anything unusual in the garden? Because this is my first time in the garden, and I think everything else was to do with not being directly caught. And now that I haven't been directly caught, I'll have that extra look around and go, is there anything unusual in this garden? Because what the heck is going on in this place?
For sure. Well, do me a spot hidden then. Or, I mean, you could do a natural world, but it seems sort of irrelevant in the sense that it's your classic English landscape garden. It doesn't seem like there'd be anything there.
I'll focus on the spot hidden.
You're not a botanist,
That is a 17 on a 46. 17 on a 46.
Okay. Is that hard? No, it's a
hard.
It is a hard, yeah. You notice, like, there's a few birds flying around the place. You're looking for signs of movement, I suppose, or like anyone within the grounds or anything that might stand out.
Or like shrines or owls perched on things or...
You see, unfortunately, you see nothing of that.
Scarecrows.
Yeah, well, naturally. You see nothing of that nature. You think back to, because you all saw the fountain on the way in with the sort of ballerina figure in the centre, and you're looking maybe for stuff like that. And there
trig points in the horizon.
No trig points, no anything like that. You do notice a couple of wagtails, a couple of rabbits. You're just glancing about. The only thing that you think you do notice as you do a scan from left to right, I suppose, like to right back up to the museum, and there's just these little dotted copses of trees and like little fish pond. No fountain this end, that's around the front, but like it's pretty barren. You do notice a rabbit just sat near the side of the pond, just sort of and you suddenly think, oh, well, that's quite, the wildlife seems quite relaxed around here. Also odd, seems quite big.
Yeah.
You realise it's a hare. It isn't a rabbit at all. It's a hare. But it's those hares that it's not like quite dog size or anything, but it's just sort of sat there, and you kind of feel like.
But it's big. Yeah.
It's big. It's like when you see you'll have had this experience at some point, I'm sure, but when you're like driving through a city early dawn or something, and suddenly like a load of deer run across the road or something, and there's that weird juxtaposition of seeing like what you take to be really, you know, quite wild nature being in an almost suburban sort of landscape. And this isn't suburban, but it's still odd. You're sort of like, I'm pretty sure that's like meant to be in the woodlands, and you're surrounded by houses. You're near the moors, sure, but it just takes you aback. But there's nothing else, I'm afraid, with your good success. I'll tell you what, I'll bank it and give you a bonus die on your next spot hidden if it's to do with anything nature, because there really isn't anything other than that around the back of this.
We didn't see anything, and that's great in some ways, because we don't want to be able to see something.
In a lot of ways, it's ideal.
So I think I cut away from the garden.
Yeah,
we've talked about this wall, the 6 foot wall.
Yeah, the red brick wall. It goes around it seems to encompass the entire gardens around the entire museum, basically.
And so logic dictates I could make my way back round it to the front.
Yeah, totally.
Potentially not be standing just at the front door waiting for someone.
Yeah, in fact, where you came in, where you got off the carriage, there was a little gate through the brick wall. That's where you got off. So you could, if you wanted to run and hop the wall and then make your way around to where you came in, that would be eminently doable. It'd mean you were covered from view, but you could wait where you came in, sort of thing. Yeah,
I think I will wait. I will wait as far away as I possibly can, but still be associated with the vicinity, the location.
Nice.
But I will go to the wall, climb it, and then cut back round to the front to wait for them. I climb the wall and I cut back round.
Yeah.
And, of course, to me it is like, I'm now fully there. I'm back in the war zone. You're running between tall buildings in a town that you don't know, chasing other men with loaded rifles and muskets. Not muskets, but, you know, like, not necessarily, they don't necessarily have Enfields or anything like that. They've got carbines. And where everyone's nervous, and it's almost like I'm running. I don't know what's on the other side of this wall, but I imagine it's like a narrow alleyway that leads back onto a street in some way. And maybe there's a sort of, and I'm climbing over it, and I'm thinking, I don't know where they are, but I need to find them, and I'm hoping they're there. And as I get to it's a motif for the session, but I lift the cudgel, I lift the stick again.
No, I love it.
And I'm by some transition between hedgerow and brick, and I duck against the brick, my shoulder against it, and I wait with you
do the Homer Simpson backing into the hedge.
Yeah, exactly. And my knuckles are whitening, and I'm trying to blend into that weird place, thinking, what is Marjorie Bjarmia Potts doing?
Yeah.
What is Perregrine McCutcheon doing as I wait for them in those terrifying moments between action and inaction? And I don't know. I just don't know. And a bit of me thinks maybe I should just run away.
Yeah. Which means you're also well placed for whether they come out with the police or not. Yeah. You're going to be...
Or the people who might be posing as police to me. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no, they're definitely police. No, they probably are. Probably. They mostly come at night. Mostly.
I run between these two worlds. I've got the natural world on my right, and I have a wall on my left, and it reminds me of being there in that other place. I remember approaching Wadi Halfa and being trapped between buildings on my left and the expanse of the dry, arid expanse of desert on my right. But mounds that rise. You think when you look at the desert there's nothing there at a first glance, but that's just not true. There's rises, there's mounds, there's bushes, there's dens and warrens. It's a world of life and death in the desert. Different here, of course, because I look to my right and I see the extent of a ramshackle hedge and an alleyway leading off, or at least could be even a small street. Hard to say without knowing the place. Wooden buildings, brick buildings, a city. This is, well, not a city, a town, but Whitby, it's a place, a real place. And here am I running between these two worlds, this tall wall on my left and this expanse of other locations on my right. And it's as if I'm back there at Wadi Halfa, on the shores of Lake Nubia, near that Egyptian border, trying to secure what we needed to make those railways, and I cannot escape it in my imagination. Not at moments like this, and I feel the drag and the tug of wanting the opium. Want to destroy myself with an opiate haze, so I do not have to think about how I ended up in that pit. But I did end up there. And I did come here before. And I escaped. And we can escape again. We can all leave here. We can all escape. We just need to know a little bit more. It's funny how the British weird Call of Cthulhu absolutely becomes true to its nature when you have bumbling cops. Bumbling constabulary are so rich and brilliant for the British weird. Whereas, as soon as cops come into play in America, it's like the guns are in play.
Yeah.
There's a sense of tension and like do or die, unless you are the cops, in which case it's really fun, but also really dark.
Yeah.
Because you're clearly a bit of a cunt. So it really struck me, and it's like, whenever I've done live stuff, it's been always the same.
Yeah.
Day 2, the police often arrive, and you spend 2 hours
going
fucking tea and cakes with the police.
Yeah.
Are you police? Are we mad? Are you mad? What the fuck is reality? Anyway, that's what I want to say.
Look what just came up literally just now as the first thing on my Instagram. It's the Whitby Museum page that I follow. Literally where we are.
No.
Wow. It's, really fucking trippy. They barely ever post, and it just came up as the first thing.
Oh, they must know somehow.
Saying they've had a break-in.
Luckily, I do.
They discovered a seaweed dungeon under their building.
Well, I do sometimes wonder, because I follow the Bogglehole Youth Hostel guest house on Instagram as well, and I wonder if our followers ever sort of comment on their stuff and leave weird. Well, if they don't, I'm going to start doing it.